Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ben Wheeler, local real estate agent in Balsam Lake. Today in this video, we are going to go over a few things with local lender, Al Nelson. We're going to talk a little bit about getting pre-approved for that mortgage. It's kind of an important step that everybody has to take. Al, I'll let you just introduce yourself and then we'll go right into it.
Yeah, Al Nelson, Cross Country Mortgage in the Polk County area, offices in St. Croix Falls. But yeah.
So what does a buyer, potential buyer, have to do to get pre-approved? Like, what's the first step?
So when they call me, typically Ben might get somebody that looks at a house and says, hey, I want to write an offer. What do I do? Ben would send them over. First thing we need to do is take a loan application. But before I even do that, I'm going to pick their brain. See, do they have a job? How long have they been at their job? Do you have any idea what credit looks like? But the main thing is we do an application, look at income. Sometimes that can take a while if they don't have those docs ready available.
What do people need to get that pre-approval right away? Should they have their recent pay stubs, their last tax statement or something like that?
Yeah, 2 years tax returns, 30 days or 4 weeks of pay stubs, 2 months of bank statements. That's the main stuff.
Sure.
And then we get their work history. You have to have a 2-year work history.
2 years?
2 years. Okay. Or if you just graduated from college and have a degree and got a job in your degree, then we can count that as work history also. Then you might have just started, but we can count that.
Sure, you actually only been in the job for like a month, but we
can count that if you
count that because it's in your program or whatever you graduated with.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct. But it's important to get pre-approved, I think, before you even look at a house, because a house might come on the market today and they're looking at offers today or tomorrow. And if you wait until the house comes on the market before you go get pre-approved, you might miss out on that house.
Right, because it might take you a couple days to get official pre-approval. I just had a situation. We had a pre-approval. There was multiple offers on the house and our pre-approval wasn't as much as what the house ended up going for. Best to have that pre-approval up front. Otherwise, agent on the other side or the sellers are going to be asking like, hey, where's your pre-approval? Because they're not going to want to commit to something if they don't know you can afford it.
Right.
You know, and sometimes we even see it where they don't even want you to show the house if they're not pre-approved.
Yeah.
You know, that's happening. Really, that pre-approval kind of helps everybody just move things along. And then, you know, it'll establish your budget too.
Right.
Look at your budget, what your payments are going to be. I mean, you could, when can you lock in a rate?
We need an address.
Okay. So as soon
once your offer's accepted.
Once your offer's accepted, then you can lock in that rate.
Yeah.
But at least if you get that pre-approval, you can kind of have an idea about how much it's going to be. I mean, there might be a little variability as far as like taxes and insurance and what the exact rate is going to be, but you're going to have that affordability rate of like, know what you can be looking at, you know, because there's a big difference between a $250,000 house and a $350,000 house.
I just had that yesterday. Somebody filled out a loan application. They put in a $400,000 purchase price with minimal down. Well, I know what that payment's going to be. So I asked them, what kind of payment are you looking for?
Yeah.
They needed to be at $200,000 for the payment that they could afford.
Or putting double the money down.
And they didn't have that.
Right.
That's one of my questions I ask people up front is too, what's your target rate for a payment that you feel you can afford? And a lot of times I can get people pre-approved for more than they can afford, but they're comfortable with this payment. So then I tell them that target range for a house to look for.
When we bought our first house, it was like the bank said, you can afford X and your payment will be this. And I'm like, well, back then it was like, that's a little more than I want to spend. So let's look for a house closer to this level. So you can, you know, work that payment in there a little bit better.
It's important that you live within your means, I call it.
100%.
And I don't like, they go look at a $400,000 house, but their budget is $200,000. Guess what? They don't like the $200,000 house when they look at it. They remember that $400,000 and they may never buy now.
Right. And that just discourages them from ever going into the market.
It's important to stay within your budget, even if you can be approved for more.
Absolutely.
The budget that you're comfortable with.
Right, because you still have to eat,
you
know, and live, you know, everything
put furniture in the house.
Yes.
All of that.
And odds are if you're buying a more expensive house, the taxes are going to be higher, your maintenance costs might be higher, your insurance is going to be higher, all that stuff. So really good idea just to have that conversation right off the bat, like right when you're thinking about buying a home. Talk to a local lender, get with them to really start figuring stuff out.
Yes.
All right. So pre-approval, very important.
Very important.
All right. With that note, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Take care.